Hello Channel 411 viewers. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video, and I thought I'd shift gears and do up a little how-to cooking video. Don't worry, I'm still going to be tackling some fun projects around the house, but I have some time today, get day off, and I'm cooking supper, so thought I'd show you guys how I prepare a quick, simple, and tasty spaghetti meat sauce. Anyway, to start off, you're going to need some olive oil, some ground beef. In this case, I've got ground elk, but it's pretty close in taste to ground beef. You can use ground beef, you can use sausage meat, you can put sausage in there for your meat component. They all make great a great meat component for your sauce. But I'm using elk today, ground elk. Some minced garlic. It's quick and easy. You don't have to cut up garlic. You can use cut up garlic if you wish, and we've used that in the past, but today it's going to be minced garlic. I'll use 3 cans of tomatoes. In this case today I've got a can of crushed tomatoes there, plus in the blender I've blended and cut up and blended some whole tomatoes. That's what I had in my cupboard, so I used that. So 2 whole tomato in the blender and 1 crushed tomato in the can there. All of them are the 796 ml or 28.8 fluid ounce cans. Some cut up onions that I cut up earlier. That's 1 onion there. Some Worcester sauce or Worcestershire sauce, and some tomato paste. Tomato paste is a great secret to making your sauce less watery and more thick and tasty. Various herbs, salt, rosemary leaves, you see there. Italian seasoning, cayenne pepper, some salt, and that's basically it. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a good sized pot. I'm not sure what size that is, but you can see from the video it's a good sized pot because it's going to make a family size meal. You're going to put some olive oil in there, just about a couple of good rounds of the pot with some olive oil, and we're going to turn the burner on to about maybe just over medium. Put the pot over it, and we're going to grab our onions that we cut up earlier. We're going to saute those. And these are just plain old white onions. You can use whatever onion you like. I prefer white onions. So let them cook down, and we're going to caramelize those onions. So we'll get back to this in the next video frame. They'll be caramelized. Okay, so at this point we've managed to caramelize the onions. They are not a deep brown yet at all, but what we're going to do next is we're going to put the meat in at this stage because we don't want to overcook the onions. We're going to cook the onions in with the meat and add some flavors as well to that meat. So we're going to grab our ground elk and pop that in. So now it's just a matter of cooking and browning this ground meat. Again, you can throw sausage meat, ground pork if you like, whatever you like. That's your meat component, so make sure you brown that real well with the onions. And you can see it's already starting to brown up. And there was one component at the beginning that I forgot to mention, and of course that's wine. So at this point, if you enjoy the flavor of wine and you like to cook with wine, wine does add a lot of flavor. I'll just grab a little bit of my wife's wine and just pour it in, half a cup, or whatever. That just adds another dimension, another layer of flavor. Heat up a little bit. And I also at this stage like to throw in my Worcestershire sauce, because meat and Worcestershire sauce go hand in hand together. That adds another layer of flavor. So we'll brown all this up with these two ingredients, and we'll see you on the next video frame. And again, for this particular stage of the recipe, you're going to want to keep your heat at between high and medium, and watch it, right? Make sure you're watching. You don't want to burn the beef, of course, or the onions, and just keep moving it so you get a good even cook through the entire consistency of the ground beef or ground elk or whatever. And I like this recipe because it's pretty simple, and you can use it when you're at home. You can use it camping. I've done it camping, and it's fantastic. So yeah, we'll catch you on the next one here. All right, so we have browned the beef, and so the next step we want to do is add the tomatoes. Now I've already added the tomato paste. So the next thing we're going to do is add our can of crushed tomatoes. And our blender full of 2 cans of blended up whole tomatoes. Again, now if say you're out camping or whatever and you don't have obviously access to a blender, just bring along some crushed tomatoes, 3 cans of crushed tomatoes, and you're golden. But if you're using the crushed tomatoes, they are a pretty thick consistency, so you'll probably have to add some fluid, like maybe a little more wine or more water, but not too much. You don't want to add too much water to this. In fact, I try not to add any water to this when I'm making it, because I hate a watery pasta, a sauce. I like a nice thick and tasty pasta sauce. So at this point, you may want to turn your heat up a little closer to high and keep an eye on it. We're probably more than halfway done at this point. It smells unbelievable with the meat and the onions sauteing in the olive oil with the Worcestershire sauce and the wine. It's incredible. Really, really smells delicious. This is a fantastic recipe. So now that you've got the tomatoes in, you're going to want to add your minced garlic, or cut up garlic, chopped garlic, whatever is in your fridge, whatever you prefer as far as garlic is concerned. This is just simpler, quick and easy. Real garlic, just minced. You buy it, it's in a jar, and it's real good stuff. Then I'll add whatever herbs I've got as far as their compatibility with tomatoes, tomato sauce. Generally I'll grab a little bit of rosemary leaves, not too much. Very small amount of salt. We generally don't cook with any salt at all. Like about that much, less than a teaspoon. Some Italian sauce, or sorry, Italian herbs. I generally like to put a fair bit on this. This one here has salt in it as well, so that's why I don't add a lot of salt of my own. This has salt. You can hear it when you shake the container. It's a one-step Italian seasoning. I'm sure you can find it. It's by a reputable manufacturer. Then the part that some people like and some people may not like, my wife doesn't like too much of it, it's cayenne pepper. This stuff, of course, is super hot. I like to add it just to flavor, add another dimension to the sauce, but not too much, because my kids are eating it and my wife's eating it. Play safe with this stuff. It's very potent. You can see it's starting to simmer now. Mix everything together. And that is your very tasty, very simple meat sauce. I would let this cook for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then boil some pasta, and you're good to go. So it makes a wonderful meal. Very quick and easy. 1.5 to 2 hours, and enjoy. Thank you for watching Channel 411.